The scrapyard was huge and filled with broken machines and old robots that nobody wanted anymore. Luna Martinez walked through the piles of metal junk, looking at each piece with tired eyes. She only had 3 credits left in her pocket, and she needed to buy something that could help her fix her home. The mining colony where she lived was falling apart and most people had already left, but Luna had nowhere else to go. The owner of the scrapyard was a strange woman with pointed ears and silver hair that seemed to glow even in the dim light. She was an elf, which was rare to see in the human colonies. A small dragon sat on her shoulder, watching everything with bright red eyes. The dragon was no bigger than a cat, but Luna could feel its power. 3 credits will not buy much, human girl, the elf woman said in a voice that sounded like music. But I have something in the back corner that nobody wants. It has been sitting there for many years. Luna followed the elf woman through narrow paths between the junk piles. The dragon made small sounds like tiny bells ringing. The elf woman stopped at a large robot that looked very old and damaged. One of its eyes was hanging out, and sparks came from its left arm sometimes. This is model XR7742, the elf woman said, looking at a small computer in her hand. It was made for military work, but something is wrong with its brain. Every person who bought it brought it back after a few days. I will take your 3 credits just to get rid of it. Luna looked at the broken robot and thought about her choices. She had no other options. Her home module was getting colder every day and the life support systems were failing. If she did not get help soon, she would freeze to death. I will take it, Luna said, and gave the elf woman her 3 credits. The elf woman smiled, but it was a sad smile. Her dragon made more bell sounds and flew around the robot once before returning to her shoulder. Be careful with this one, the elf woman said. There is more to it than broken parts. Luna did not understand what the elf woman meant, but she activated the robot anyway. The machine made loud noises as it came to life. Its movements were slow and jerky. System error, the robot said in a broken voice. I am unable to follow normal programming. Something is wrong with my core systems. Luna sighed but took the robot home anyway. She named it Rust because of all the orange-brown metal covering its body. Her home was a small metal box attached to the side of a cliff. The mining colony had built hundreds of these boxes for workers, but now most of them were empty and dark. Luna and Rust entered through the small door, and Luna immediately felt the cold air. The heating system is broken. Luna told Rust, "Can you check the ventilation ducts and see what is wrong?" Rust started to move toward the ducts but then stopped. The robot turned its head and looked out the small window at the stars in the black sky. The stars sing, Rust said in its crackling voice. I can hear them calling. Luna frowned. Robots did not say things like that. Something was definitely wrong with this one, but she needed its help. Please check the ducts, Luna said again. We need heat or we will die. Rust moved to the ducts but kept stopping to look at things around the room. It picked up a broken cup and stared at it for a long time. It touched the walls gently, like it was feeling something. Luna had never seen a robot act this way. That night, Luna woke up to strange noises. She found Rust standing in front of her few family pictures on the wall. The robot was reaching out with one metal finger toward a photo of Luna with her grandmother. She had kind eyes. Rust whispered, like someone I knew. But that is impossible. I'm only a machine. I have no memories of people. Luna walked closer to the robot. Rust, what are you talking about? The robot turned to look at Luna, and for a moment, Luna thought she saw something human in its one working eye. I dream, Luna Martinez. Rust said. Machines do not dream, but I see things. When I power down, I see a war. I see sacrifice. I see someone putting their mind into cold metal to save others. I see myself forgetting how to be human. Luna felt cold, but not from the broken heating. Halsey realized the elf woman had been right. This robot was not just broken, it was something else entirely. The next day, Rust continued to act strange. Instead of working on repairs, it would stop and touch objects around the room. It would stare at the food Luna ate like it was trying to remember something. It asked her questions about being human, about feelings and memories. Luna started to wonder who Rust had been before becoming a robot. The military had done many experiments during the war, She had heard stories about uploading human minds into machines but thought they were just stories. Rust helped with some repairs but spent most of the time lost in thought. The robot would stand at the window for hours watching the stars and whispering things Luna could not understand. As days passed, Luna found herself talking to Rust like it was a person, not a machine. And Rust seemed to become more human with each conversation, even though its body was still metal and wires. 3 weeks had passed since Luna brought Rust home, and the robot was becoming stranger every day. Instead of following her commands to fix things, Rust would stop in the middle of tasks and stare at nothing. Sometimes the robot would touch the walls and say they felt familiar, even though that made no sense. One morning, Luna found Rust trying to eat her breakfast. The robot had picked up her bowl of protein paste and was moving it toward its face, where a mouth would be on a human. I remember. The taste, Rust said sadly. But I cannot eat, I am metal and circuits now. Luna took the bowl away gently. Rust, you were never human. You are a robot model, XR7742. No, Rust said firmly. I was someone before I had a name, I had a life. But the memories are broken like scattered pieces of glass. That evening, Luna was working on the water recycling system when Rust suddenly grabbed her arm. The robot's grip was gentle, but Luna could feel its strength. I remember a child, Rust said, a little girl with brown hair. She called me Mommy. She liked butterflies and chocolate cake. I can see her face, but I cannot remember her name. Luna pulled her arm free. Robots do not have children. Rust. But I did. Rust insisted I know I did. Before I was this. Before I was metal. And code, I was flesh and blood, I was human. Luna wanted to argue, but something in Rust's voice stopped her. The robot sounded so certain, so full of pain that should not exist in a machine. That night, Luna could not sleep. She kept thinking about what Rust had said. She got up and went to her old computer terminal searching for information about Project XR7742. What she found made her blood run cold. The project was classified, but some information had leaked out during the war. The military had asked for volunteers to upload their minds into robot bodies. The process was supposed to create perfect soldiers who could fight in space without air or food, but something had gone wrong. Many of the uploaded minds had gone insane, torn between their human memories and machine programming. Luna looked at Rust, who was standing at the window again. The robot was drawing shapes on the glass with one finger. Simple butterflies. The next day brought an unexpected visitor. The elf woman from the scrapyard appeared at Luna's door. Her small dragon was wrapped around her neck like a scarf. I came to check on the robot, the elf woman said, walking inside without invitation. How is it performing? Luna watched the elf woman carefully. It remembers things. Human things. It thinks it was a person before. The elf woman nodded slowly. Yes, I suspected as much. Her dragon flew off her neck and landed on Rust's shoulder. The little creature touched its nose to the robot's head. Rust went completely still, for a moment, then began to shake. Images appeared in the air above the robot, holographic memories projecting from its systems. Luna saw a woman in a military uniform standing on the bridge of a spaceship. She saw alien ships attacking human colonies. She saw the same woman volunteering for something called Project Prometheus. Captain Holly Blake, Rust said in a voice that was suddenly different, more feminine. I was Captain Holly Blake. I volunteered to upload my mind to save humanity. We all did. 143 of us gave up our bodies to become weapons. The elf woman sighed. I knew her. She was brave and strong. But the upload process was meant to erase human memories to prevent this kind of suffering. It did not work. Rust, or Holly, said I remember pieces. My daughter Mia, she was 7 when I left her, brown eyes like mine. She loved butterflies. Luna felt tears in her eyes. How is this possible? The elf woman sat down, her movements graceful. The human mind is stronger than anyone. Knew some of the uploaded soldiers kept their memories buried deep. When the war ended, they were supposed to shut down to find peace. But Holly here never stopped running, because Mia might still be alive. Holly said through the robot's speakers. Could not shut down, not knowing if my little girl survived the war. The dragon made soft sounds and the elf woman translated. She says Mia did survive. She lived a long life, had children of her own. She never stopped telling stories about her brave mother who saved humanity. Holly's robot body shook with what could only be called crying, though no tears could fall from metal eyes. How do you know? The elf woman pulled out a small device and touched it. A hologram appeared, showing an old woman, with the same brown eyes Luna had seen in the earlier memory. This message was recorded 60 years ago. The elf woman said. The hologram began to speak. Mom, if you are out there somewhere, if any part of you survived in those machines, know that I understand. I love you, I forgive you for leaving. Come home. Holly fell to her knees, the robot body hitting the floor hard. My baby, my Mia. She grew old without me. Luna knelt beside Holly and put her arms around the cold metal. She did not know what to say to comfort someone who had given up everything and missed their whole life. The elf woman stood. We can help you, Holly. There is a way to transfer your consciousness to a new body, a human body made from your DNA. You could be flesh and blood again. Holly looked up with her one working eye. You can make me human again? Yes, the elf woman said. But the process is dangerous and expensive, and you would have to leave this robot body behind forever. The elf woman, whose name Luna learned was Lyrelai, returned every day for a week. She brought strange medicines and tools that looked like nothing Luna had ever seen. The dragon ember helped too, using its small claws to adjust tiny components inside. Holly's robot body. Holly was different now that her memories were returning. She moved with more purpose and spoke with the authority of a military captain. But she also cried often as more memories of her human life came back. Each memory brought pain. I remember her first day of school. Holly said one morning while helping Luna fix a broken pipe. Mia wore a yellow dress and she was so scared. But she was brave like her mom. She walked into that classroom with her head held high. Luna listened to these stories while they worked together. She had grown fond of Holly and it hurt to see her suffering. The robot body was falling apart faster now, as if the human consciousness inside was too much for the old circuits to handle. Lyrelai says, the new body is almost ready, Holly told Luna one evening. They grew it from DNA samples the military kept. It will be just like my old body, but young and healthy. I can start over. Luna felt a knot in her stomach at these words. She had gotten used to having Holly around. The robot had become more than just help with repairs. Holly had become a friend. That night Luna woke to find Holly standing over her. The robot's one working eye glowed softly in the dark. I wanted to thank you. Holly said, you gave me a home when I was lost. You treated me like a person when everyone else saw junk. Luna sat up. You do not have to thank me, Holly. You helped me too. This place would be frozen without you. Holly sat on the edge of the bed carefully so her weight would not break it. I am scared, Luna. What if I cannot be human again? What if I have been a machine too long? You were never just a machine. Luna said firmly. You were always Holly Blake. The next day, Lyrelai arrived with a large container and many machines. The transfer equipment filled most of Luna's small living space. Ember flew around excitedly, chirping and singing. The process will take several hours, Lyrelai explained. Once we start, we cannot stop, Holly. Your consciousness will move from the robot body to the clone. If something goes wrong, nothing will go wrong, Holly said. But Luna could hear the fear in her mechanical voice. Luna helped connect cables and position equipment. She tried not to think about what would happen after Holly was human. Again, would she leave? Would she go looking for her daughter's children? Would Luna ever see her again? As they prepared, Holly kept talking about her memories. She remembered her wedding day, her first time flying a spaceship the day Mia was born. Each memory was clearer now, as if knowing she would soon be human again had unlocked them all. I was 32 when I uploaded, Holly said. My birthday was in spring, April 15th. I loved chocolate ice cream and old movies. I could not sing, but I did. Anyway, in the shower Luna wrote down everything Holly said. She wanted to remember all of it. She wanted to remember the person Holly had been and the friend she had become. The dragon. Ember suddenly made a loud sound, and Lyrelay frowned. She checked. Her equipment and her face grew worried. "There is a problem," she said. "The robot body is degrading faster than expected. If we do not start the transfer now, we might lose Holly completely, then start it." Holly said quickly. "Wait," Luna said. "What about me? What about the colony? I still need help with repairs." Holly turned to Luna, and somehow her mechanical face looked sad. "I am sorry, Luna. But if I stay in this body, I will die. The circuits cannot hold me much longer." Luna understood, but it still hurt. She nodded and stepped back. Lyrelay began the process. Machines hummed and lights flashed. Holly's robot body went rigid and the eye went dark. Luna watched anxiously as hours passed. Suddenly alarms started going off. Lyrelay moved quickly, adjusting settings and checking readings. Her consciousness is fighting the transfer. Lyrelay said she is holding on to something in the robot body. Luna realized what was happening. Holly was afraid to let go, afraid to leave the life she had built here. "Holly," Luna called out, "I am here. I will not forget you. You will always be my friend." The alarm slowed and the transfer continued. Luna held her breath as more hours passed. Finally, Lyrelay stepped back, looking exhausted. "It is done," she said. The container opened with a hiss of cold air. Inside was a woman who looked exactly like the captain from the holographic memories. Brown hair, brown eyes, skin that was pale but alive. Holly Blake was human again. Holly's eyes opened slowly. She blinked and tried to speak, but only a whisper came out. "Luna." She said. Luna rushed forward and took Holly's hand. It was warm and soft, so different from the metal she was used to. Holly squeezed back weakly. "I can feel," Holly said with wonder. "I can feel your hand. I can feel the air on my skin. I can smell, I can taste my own mouth." Tears ran down Holly's face, real tears from real eyes. She tried to sit up but was too weak. Lyrelay and Luna helped her carefully. The robot body lay empty in the corner, just scrap metal. Now Luna looked at it and felt sad. It had been Holly's home for so long. Holly followed her gaze. "Thank you, Rust," she whispered to the empty shell. "You kept me safe all those years." Ember landed on Holly's shoulder and sang a beautiful song. The sound filled the room with joy and hope. Holly laughed, a real human laugh that made Luna smile despite her sadness. Now what Luna asked, even though she already knew the answer. Holly spent 3 days learning how to be human again. Every small thing was a miracle to her. The taste of water, the feeling of hunger, the need to sleep. She cried when she ate her first meal in 80 years, even though it was just protein paste. Luna watched Holly rediscover her humanity with mixed feelings. She was happy for her friend, but sad about what would come next. The colony was still falling apart, and Luna would be alone again soon. On the 4th day, Holly was strong enough to walk outside. She stood in the harsh wind of the mining colony and laughed. The cold hurt her skin, but she did not care. "I had forgotten what cold felt like," Holly said. "Real cold. Not just temperature sensors telling me it was cold." Lyrelay and Ember visited every day to check on Holly. The elf woman ran tests and gave Holly medicine to help her body adjust. "Your DNA was preserved perfectly," Lyrelay said. "You are physically 25 years old again. You have your whole life ahead of you." Holly touched her face, feeling the smooth skin. "I am younger than when I uploaded. But I have an old soul now." At evening, Holly found Luna working on the water recycler alone. The system was complicated and really needed 2 people to fix it properly. "Let me help," Holly said, reaching for the tools. "No," Luna said more sharply than she meant. "You are human now. You should not be crawling around in dirty pipes." Holly stepped back, looking hurt. "I am still me. Luna being human again does not change who I am." Luna put down her tools and sighed. "I know I am sorry. It is just hard. You will leave soon to find your family, and I understand that. But I will miss you." Holly sat down next to Luna. "You think I am leaving? Of course you are," Luna said. "You have grandchildren to meet. You have a life to live. You cannot stay in this dying colony." Holly was quiet for a long moment, then she spoke softly. What if I do not want to leave? What if I want to stay here with you? Luna looked at Holly in surprise. Why would you stay? There is nothing here but cold and broken machines. There is you. Holly said, You gave me hope when I was just a broken robot. You saw me as a person. You became my friend. I have been alone in that metal body for 80 years. Luna, I do not want to be alone anymore. Luna felt tears in her eyes. But your family, they lived their lives without me. Holly said, They mourned me and moved on. If I show up now, I would just confuse and hurt them. I am a stranger who happens to share DNA. That is not true. Luna protested. Holly took Luna's hand with her warm human fingers. But this is true. You need help here. This colony needs people to survive. And I need a purpose. I was a soldier, then I was a weapon. Now, I want to be something else. I want to be your partner in keeping this place alive. Luna squeezed Holly's hand. Can you be happy here? It is not much of a life. I was happy as a broken robot helping you. Holly said, Imagine how happy I can be as a human doing the same thing. They sat together in comfortable silence, both thinking about the future. It would not be easy, but maybe it could work. The next day, Holly proved she was serious about staying. She put on work clothes and started helping with repairs. Her new body was not as strong as the robot had been, but she made up for it with determination. Lyra Lay was surprised when Holly told her the decision. You could go anywhere, do anything. The elf woman said, Why stay here? Because here is where I am needed. Holly replied, And here is where I found myself again. Lyra Lay smiled and nodded. Ember flew around Holly's head singing approval. If you ever change your mind, the offer to help you find your family remains open. Lyra Lay said. Holly hugged the elf woman, surprising them both. Thank you for everything. You gave me my life. Back, Lyra Lay and Ember left that evening. The dragon's songs echoed in the tunnels long after they were gone. Luna and Holly settled into a new routine. They worked side by side, fixing the colony's failing systems. Holly had to rest more often than before, and she complained about sore muscles, but she never stopped smiling. I had forgotten about pain. Holly said one day while rubbing her back. Real pain is so much worse than damage alerts. But somehow it feels good too. It means I am alive. They talked while they worked. Holly shared more memories of her old life, and Luna told stories about growing up in the colony. They found they had a lot in common despite their different backgrounds. Both of us chose to sacrifice for others. Holly said, One evening you stayed here when everyone else left to keep the colony running for any who might return. I gave up my body to protect humanity. We are alike. Luna had never thought of it that way, but Holly was right. They were both stubborn people who put others before themselves. As weeks passed, Holly grew stronger and more confident in her human body. She learned to cook with their limited supplies and sang while she worked. Her voice was terrible, but Luna loved it anyway. The colony still had problems, but with two people working together, they managed to keep the essential systems running. They even fixed the heating system properly, so the habitat was warm for the first time in months. Holly stood at the window one night looking at the stars. They do not sing anymore, she said. Luna joined her at the window. Do you miss it? Holly thought about it, then shook her head. No. The singing was my robot brain trying to process human memories. Now I just see stars, and they are beautiful enough without the music. Luna smiled and put her arm around Holly. They stood together watching the stars, two humans in a dying colony, but very much alive. 6 months had passed since Holly chose to stay at the mining colony with Luna. Their life had fallen into a comfortable pattern of work and companionship. They had managed to repair most of the critical systems and even started a small greenhouse. Using seeds Luna had been saving, Holly was planting tomatoes when the communication system sparked to life for the first time in years. A message was coming through from the main planet. This is Colony Administration calling Mining Station 7. 4 Alpha. Is anyone still there? Please respond. Luna grabbed the microphone. This is Luna Martinez and Holly Blake at 7. 4 Alpha. We are here. We are alive. There was silence then, excited voices on the other end. 2 survivors. Amazing. We are sending a supply ship. It should arrive in 3 days. Can you hold on that? Long Holly took the microphone from Luna. We have been holding on for years. 3 more days is nothing. After the call ended, Luna and Holly looked at each other. Both knew what this meant. The government would want to evacuate them to close the colony officially. Their quiet life together was about to change. That night they sat outside in environmental suits watching the stars. The suits were patched and old, but they worked well enough for short trips outside. Are you ready to leave? Holly asked through the suit radio. Luna was quiet for a long time, then answered, I do not know. This place is all I have ever known, but staying might be foolish. Holly reached over and took Luna's gloved hand. We do not have to decide yet. Let us see what they offer. The supply ship arrived exactly 3 days later. It was bigger than anything that had visited the colony in years. 2 officials in clean uniforms stepped out looking around at the rundown buildings with barely hidden disgust. You 2 have done amazing work keeping this place running, one official said, but it is time to shut it down. The mining operations are finished and maintaining this colony for 2 people is not cost-effective. Where would we go? Luna asked. The second official smiled. We have positions available at the new colony on Epsilon 5. Good jobs housing medical care. Everything you need for a fresh start. Holly stepped forward. What if we do not want to leave? What if we want to stay here? The officials looked at each other in confusion. Why would you want to stay? There is nothing here. That is where you are wrong, Holly said. There is everything here. This is our home. Luna felt proud of Holly for speaking up. She added, we have made a life here. We have plans to expand the greenhouse to start repairs on the other habitats. We could make this colony live again. The first official shook his head. That is not practical or possible. We are here to evacuate you. Not debate, Holly's face said in the stubborn expression Luna had come to know well. Then we refuse to leave. You cannot refuse, the official said. This colony is being decommissioned. Watch us. Holly said. The officials tried to argue for 2 hours, but Holly had been a military captain and knew how to stand her ground. Luna supported her completely. They showed the officials their repair logs, their greenhouse plans, their vision for the colony's future. Finally, the second official made a call to someone higher up. After a long conversation, he turned back to them. Administration is willing to compromise, he said. You can stay for 1 more year as caretakers. If you can show real progress in that time, they will consider keeping the colony open as a research station. Holly and Luna accepted immediately. The officials left supplies and equipment, then departed, shaking their heads at what they saw as foolishness. That night, Holly cooked a special meal using some of the fresh supplies. They had real vegetables for the first time in years and even a small cake. To our victory, Holly said, raising a cup of precious fruit juice to our home. Luna replied, touching her cup to Holly's. They spent the evening planning how to use their year. They would repair more habitats, get the communications array fully functional, maybe even attract other settlers who wanted a simpler life away from the crowded main colonies. As they worked, Holly suddenly stopped and looked at Luna. There is something I need to tell you. Luna put down her datapad. What is it? Holly seemed nervous, which was unusual for her. These months with you have been the happiest of my life. Both my lives, actually. Luna felt her heart beat faster. Mine too. Holly moved closer. I know. I am much older than you in experience, if not in body. I know I am complicated with all my history, but Luna, I have fallen in love with you. Luna's breath caught. She had been feeling the same way for weeks, but had been afraid to say anything. Holly had been through so much, and Luna did not want to complicate her new life. I love you too, Luna whispered. Holly's face lit up with joy. She pulled Luna into a kiss that was soft and warm and perfect. When they pulled apart, both were crying, happy tears. Never thought I would love again, Holly said. When I was in that robot body, I thought all my chances for happiness were gone. But you gave me hope. You gave me life. You gave me love. Luna held Holly close. You gave me the same things. I was just existing, before you came. Now I am living. They stood together in their small habitat looking out at the stars. The colony around them was still broken and struggling, but it was theirs. They had a year to prove it could live again, and they would do it together. The robot body still stood in the corner where Holly had left it. Luna had suggested scrapping it for parts, but Holly wanted to keep it. It reminds me of where I came from, Holly had said, and how lucky I am to be where I am now. Now Luna understood completely. She was lucky too. Lucky to have found Holly. Lucky to have a purpose. Lucky to have love. The stars outside did not sing, but Holly hummed softly as she held Luna. The melody was simple and sweet and very human. It was the sound of hope of home of two, hearts finding each other across impossible odds. Tomorrow they would start the real work of rebuilding. But tonight they had each other, and that was enough. That was everything.